So this is the album cover Illustrator demo, and what you're seeing on the screen right now is a run through of all of the things this video and tutorial covers. So if you need to skip to a specific step, click on it from below and you can do that and go to a specific point in the video. But what might be helpful is just to watch this through and go step by step to follow along while you're creating your album cover art project with your images that you already took. So what you're seeing on the screen here is the email I sent you all, and just download the template. Make sure it's the updated template from your email and it'll pop up as you normally download anything. And once it's downloaded, drag it to the desktop and you will see here is, I'm just placing it on the desktop and you can open it up. Just a reminder that this project requires a lot of steps, so it might be super helpful to pause this video when you need to. Okay, now that I have it on my desktop, I'm going to open it up. Illustrator should open the template and make sure it's the 3 squares that you see here, or 1 rectangle, 2 squares. And on my artboards here, you see a front, a back, and an inside. I'm zooming in and zooming out. And how I'm doing that is I'm doing Command plus and Command minus. You could also use the little pad on your laptop if you have one. That should work as well. So I just did window and I'm showing you all of these tools. This is how you open up specific toolbars in Illustrator. And I have the artboard tool open so you see the front, back, inside. But if you don't see that and you want to, just do window, artboard. That's how you open it up. So the first step, I want to show you how to change the color of the artboards. You'll see here on the toolbar on the left, you can highlight each thing and tool and it'll tell you what it is, which is super helpful in Illustrator. And now that I have the rectangle tool selected, you can see there's a lot of shapes that you can work with. I'm going to drag the rectangle from one corner to the next and it highlights the whole thing. It's still white, but I'm going to add a color to it from this color toolbar on the right. If you don't see this right here, what you can do is go, once it's selected, and you mess around with some colors, but if it's not there, you go to Window, Color Guide, or Color. So you'll see what Color Guide looks like, but I would recommend just working with Color, where it's this toolbar that looks like this, and you can pick any color you want. So if you're indecisive, maybe limit yourself with your colors. So what I'm going to do right now to make the rest of the artboards the same color, I just hit Option, and as I'm holding Option down, it makes a copy of it. So to do that again, Option, hold the Option key down on your MacBook or laptop that you have, and drag the shape, and it'll duplicate it. So to make this one fit in the larger rectangle at the bottom and the inside cover for this album art, I just dragged the square to either end with the little cursor that you saw with little arrows on the edge. So that's how you do that. I have them all set, and right now I'm pulling up the completed version that I created from before. So you'll see here there's kind of a lot of elements to my completed album art sample, and we'll cover this in this video today. So how to make vectors, how to place text, how to distort text, and how to get all of this into this file and placed. So the next step I want to show you is how to type. So to type, you click the type key on the left right here. It's this big T. So click on the T, and what you do is just place the text, and I'm just going to type my album cover cylinder, the word that we learned in class during week 9. And you'll see it's really, really small. It's not even legible. So what I'm going to do right now is hold down the Shift key, make sure it says toggle selection at the bottom, holding down Shift so it doesn't get distorted, and I'm going to increase the font size. So you see right there, I can distort it if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to edit undo. And Command Z is another option on editing undo if you want to fix something you did wrong. So I'm placing the text onto the document, and I'm turned it into a white text, and now I'm placing it and finding the right size and dimensions. So the next thing, I don't like the font that's being used already, so I am going to defont.com. You're basically going shopping for a font, and there's many options, so maybe take some time to pick one. If you want to follow the one from your mood board, you could do that, but you can also find a new one if you'd like. So yeah, find a font. I like the more comic or like handwritten type font. So let's find something that fits for this project. And once you find one, you hit download. So click that download button. It'll download to your computer. You open up the file. So I just clicked open from the download. And you see right here, it says Internet Friends TTF. So double click on that and it'll open up. So it might be a folder of fonts. So just open up the folder too and click install. So as long as it's saying install and it like goes into that, it should go right into Illustrator, and you can then use the font anytime. So to change the font, you do type font, and I'm just going to type in INT to jump to the Internet Friends because I have many fonts. There we go. So Internet Friends, basically what we all are on this digital platform. And I'm going to change the color of it, but actually I might just keep it white, but just to show you too that you can change the color of the font. All right, I have that placed. I have my title. Now I want to show you how do I place images. So I should start placing some of my images to get a better grasp on what this is going to look like. So I have my edited images on the desktop from my Lightroom tutorial. I'm going to open those up and just rearranging my messy desktop in this tutorial and Xing out of stuff. So bear with me here. But right now I'm opening up my edited images and just dragging them directly into Illustrator. So that's pretty straightforward too. To place the images, really just drag them in to the document that you're working on. And I'm going to place this album cover image to a spot that I like, and then I'm going to start placing other images for the inside cover. So you see here, this image is a lot bigger than I need it to be. I'm going to downsize it by just holding down shift and dragging the corner to resize it. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to do this for each image, resizing and placing them. So this will take some time to rearrange, place them, get to a spot that you like. So I'm not going to do all of this in this tutorial, but just to show you how to place them and resize. So corner dragging while holding down shift. So you'll get the hang of that, and that will just take some time to rearrange. So to add a border right now, I just click the rectangle tool and I'm going to select and place over the image so it's the same size. So you see over here that the fill cover is filled in. I'm going to X out of that, but then you see there's a border color that I can now increase the stroke size. So at the top, my border is really thin right now, but to increase the size of the border, as it's selected, as you see it's selected on this record player image down here, I'm going to increase the size to 6 points so you can see a kind of a clear border. This is not required, but just an aesthetic if you would like to add borders to your images. And I'm going to select it by copying, so Option key, dragging and resizing it over this image. So I'm going to just do this for these two images so you can see how to add a border and add that aesthetic. So now that I have that, I'm starting to place images, and yeah, you'll take some time to do that, but just to show you how to start that process. So right now I'm going to open up the document that I typed in all my image titles. I'm going to copy that by clicking Command C, copying like you normally would copy anything. And to paste it, you click on type and you paste it into like a new type. So I just placed it, expanded it, resized it, all things that we covered in previous steps of things. And to now change the text color just like you would change the color of a shape. I just added white, but you see over here it's on the stroke color. Make sure you get out of that and that it's the fill color, but you can also play around with the stroke color. So you see there, it's legible, it's clear to read. I'm placing it, formatting it in a way that's digestible for the viewer and that you can read it easily. So now that I'm starting to place things, I want to show you how to insert your type for your response to the weekly check-in question. So now that I have open space, and I'm just going to do the same thing, copy Command C from the Word doc or for the Google Doc, and I'm going to paste it. So you're going to see once I've pasted it there, oh, I moved the wrong thing, do edit undo there. Once I pasted it, it's a long line, and this might happen to you with your text as well. This is kind of a pain, but just to fix this, and so it's not just one long line of text, but it's a paragraph, just hit enter to create like maybe 5 or 6 lines for this, for my response to this question. And once I have that reformatted and it's good to go, I'm going to change the text to white and expand it, make it a little bigger, maybe mess around with the font, find a font that is legible and works well. And I love that font, so I'm just going to go to a different one and increase the size. So now it's ready to be placed onto the document, and I can start figuring out how I want this album cover to look. So what I'm doing right here is I'm distorting the text, if you would like. This is another aesthetic thing you can do. I clicked Style Flag, and I'm making the bend to 16%. Really just mess around with that. That's just a thing that you can distort, and yeah, just work with however way you like to work with it. Like, it's not a part of the grade, just to add to the project and the aesthetics of it. So now we have that, and I want to show you how to change a image into a vector. So a vector doesn't have pixelation. You can zoom all the way in. So what I did here, I just placed a image that I drew and then took a picture of with my camera. So what I'm doing here is I selected the image, and I'm going to click on image trace, and that turns it instantly into a vector. I'm going to zoom in right here. You see that it does not get pixelated, but it's just a vector. That's what a vector is. So after you image trace, hit expand at the top there, and then you do expand ungroup. And once it's ungrouped, that allows you to manipulate as much as you want this vector that was once my drawing. So you can start deleting and manipulating specific aspects of this vector. And you're gonna see right here, I'm just deleting the excess parts of the vector, and so it looks pretty clean too. So now that I have a vector selected, I'm going to change the color. So with the color guide, not all of it was selected, so let me regroup that. Now I can change the color of all of it and start placing the vector. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. I'm going to change it probably to a white vector, but getting it placed, and yeah, just making sure it looks aesthetically pleasing and reflects kind of the design I want to convey for the viewer. That's pretty much everything for this tutorial. Obviously, this is not completed, but just to show you each steps on how to do the things you would like to do for this project. And then, yeah, zooming in and zooming out just to show you kind of what we did. And now I'm getting out of this to show you, this is obviously the final product after I worked through it a little bit more and placed everything. But I want to show you how to save, so you can always save your work. So I did file save as, and I'm going to rename it. Instead of the template, I'm going to do album cover project and my full name, Patrick Lentz, Mr. Lentz, and just save it. And there we go. Now for the final product, like when you're submitting to Google Classroom, you cannot submit the Illustrator file. So what I want you to do is File, Save As. Ignore all of that just happened. It was still saving the Illustrator file. So give it a second, but do File, Save As, and save it as a PDF. So I did the format, and on that format, I did Adobe PDF. You click Save, and then you save PDF, and it'll save to desktop or wherever your files are set to save to. So now once it's downloading, I'm going to get out of Illustrator. I'm not going to X out, but just minimize it. And it's on the desktop. So now you can see my progress. And once yours is completed, you submit it to Google Classroom and you're good to go to present. So let me know if you have any aspects of Illustrator that I did not cover in this video and you'd like me to cover, or things that might have been confusing in this tutorial, and I can figure out other ways to show them to you through another video or tutorial. But I wish you all luck on this project, and I think you all are going to produce amazing album covers and art projects that combines your eye for design, aesthetics, color theory, photography, and drawing too, if you are incorporating that. So I appreciate you all for watching this. Thank you. Peace.